I'll let it go because there's no doubt this fucking thing listens. And there's no doubt in my mind. And it's actually, it's quite interesting to see when you are interested in something and you type it in, whether it's an Instagram, it really knows. And it starts to tailor. It's actually very clever. And when I talk about really knowing, like I've been on TikTok, it's doing my head in because that algorithm on TikTok is unbelievably scary of how accurate it is. And my mate, he likes Asian chicks and he likes four-wheel drives. And and his TikTok feed is full of Asian chicks
in four-wheel drive.
In four-wheel drives. Oh man, and it is right. So like, I've got no females on my TikTok, but
well now
let's not look. So, but you know, it sort of goes, oh yeah. Then because you can't skip on TikTok, you have to watch it. Very clever algorithm. It's the smartest out of all of them. I'm just about to wean off. Bang, it's got me again. I'm just about to wean off. Bang. It's like a crack addict. TikTok.
Yeah.
And it's very clever. And the data they are collecting, Chinese-owned company. Not allowed to use the actual app in China. Mm-hmm. The data they must be collecting is frightening. What sort of data do you think data collection or big data, you know, it's been talked about for probably since you've been in the business, but they're really starting to talk about how important that data is and how many data fields is attached to one person, for instance.
Well, I mean, that is the name of the game, right? And unfortunately, I mean, you've heard the... I mean, you must have heard the story about Cambridge Analytica.
Well, I am fascinated, and I'm going to do a Netflix plug here. The Great Hack, Netflix. It is the best documentary I've seen about how your data, which you've given up, and let's face it, you talk about things you're not on, and you have a look at, you're on a platform, you're on it for free. There's 1 billion people on that platform and they're all doing it for free. People still don't even realise that their information has been sold all around the world. And to me, that Great Hack, the Cambridge Analytica, when I watched that, that blew my mind away. And I thought I had some ideas. So what's your, you would have been in Silicon Valley then. You wouldn't have been in London.
Silicon Valley.
Have you seen the movie? Or
I've seen the movie, and I know a lot more about the background than just what's in the movie, right?
Well, haven't you come to the right place?
Yes, indeed.
Can you talk about it?
Well, I will talk about it because this is something I'm especially passionate about. You know, and there's only one way for us to control it. Which is by controlling the amount of information that we share, we as an individual, we as citizens of whichever country, choose to share online with any provider. Because once you do, it's out there. And then you are putting your trust in that provider and every provider. So
provider, you're not talking platform, you're talking like a telecom provider. Or are you talking...
I'm talking in general, right? So I see Facebook as a provider as well, okay, right? Cool. Because they are a provider of a service and you share your data with them. It just so happens that people share much more than just their credit card details and their buying patterns with Facebook. They share a hell of a lot more information than that. And some people are silly enough to share their whereabouts, to share, you know, where they're going next, how long they're going to be away from home. There's a whole range of things which... You know, thankfully my kids have grown up being very, very smart about and thinking twice before they put stuff online, because there's a lot of kids that aren't taught that. And that's one of my biggest fears actually for the next generation is if we don't teach them about the importance of their own personal privacy online, then, you know, who knows how bad it's going to get, because it's going to get worse before it gets better. There's no question about that.
So before talking about the Great Hack, cyberbullying, specifically for kids... Like, you know, you've got young kids. I've got young kids under the age of 10. How do you think the only way that I believe they can deal with it is education? Or there's no way of blocking full stop, is there? On every single platform, all the time. Is there a way that could be stopped? Or what do you think? How do you think cyberbullying can not destroy, which it already has. It has destroyed many kids' lives.
Yep.
Many kids have killed themselves because of social media.
Yes.
How do you think it's going to be in another 5 years' time? Because I think it's already really bad.
Well, in another 5 years' time, I think that depends on exactly what we do today. I think we're at a pivotal moment here where we can make a difference and we can change the outcome for 5 years from now. But we have to remember that we have to reverse the last 10 years of what's been happening, where this generation of children have grown up since the age of 1, 2, 3 years old on a screen.
Yep.
Right? And in some cases haven't been taught about what to think about before you actually put your finger on the glass, right? And swiping left and swiping right and swiping up and swiping down. And that is a problem. And if we are just going to rely on the educators to do the job, we will lose the fight.
Yep.
Because it starts at home.
Yep.
And it starts with the parents. And if the parents aren't prepared to get educated about this, and if the parents aren't prepared to actually take an interest in their child's online screen activities, and that's not just, like, I had this conversation with my son last night. Yeah, but Dad, I'm doing my homework. I don't care what you're doing on that screen. How long today have you spent on that screen? It's not whether it's productive, non-productive. It's eyes on glass.
Yep.
Right? Versus eyes out in the world, actually getting out there in the world and meeting people and doing things. It's that social interaction and that interaction with the planet Earth is critical and important for it to be balanced. But when they're on a screen, the content that they're exposed to, the people that they're communicating with, is very, very, very important.
So, is there ways of protecting that? Like, I look at my kids; they're on YouTube Kids.
Yep.
So that has no ads, but there was that going back a while. I forgot the name of this character that people thought was it'll come to me, real scary character. That halfway through this thing said, like, grab your teddy bear, put it in the oven, like it was. It'll come to this. So this was hysteria, right? Talking about the platform, and I was like, so halfway through it would be a Goldilocks, and then so you watch it. Oh yeah, it's Goldilocks, and then 10 minutes in, Goldilocks literally massacres everyone on the screen, and it was some psychopath was putting it on. Apparently, I call bullshit, right? Didn't see it with my own eyes. Only saw this is what happened, and people are on Momo. That's what it was. It was Momo. And people were up in arms about this Momo character. And then a friend of mine posted, this just happened. And I said, did you see it with your own eyes? Mm. And they then go, oh no, a friend of mine saw it. So how much of it's bullshit?